Growing up, he idolized both Muhammad Ali and Evel Knievel. He wrote letters and sent Christmas cards to both, never expecting to hear back, but got handwritten responses from both that began friendships which still go on today. Producer Rod Boykin visited Scot's home to see his amazing collection of memorabilia.
I was a little kid and I just looked up to him. He was a hero. And I sent him a fan letter and asked him for an autographed picture. And about 6 months later, he sent me one. And then I wanted to send him a thank you note. And in exchange for that thank you note, he sent me a handwritten letter. And then we kind of became pen pals, and we wrote back and forth over the years. So that's just started with a regular fan letter. When I was a little boy, I was a paper boy, and I would spend my money on like Ali posters and programs back when they were $10, $15. This was back in the 70s, early 80s. And now those same programs and posters that were $10 and $15 are now $200, $300, $400, where I can't even afford them now. But a lot of the stuff I collected when I was younger, but I've got Ali to sign it within the last couple of decades. There were a lot of weird things that Ali has endorsed over the years, a lot of unique things he's endorsed, like everything from shaving cream to shoe polish, popcorn, potato chips, even cologne. They had a Muhammad Ali cologne at one time. He really was at his biggest in the 60s and 70s before they really got into the product endorsements, you know, before Michael Jordan endorsed everything under the sun. But Ali does have some unique things, everything from the Ali Halloween costume. You don't see that very much. That's kind of a unique thing. When I met Ali, after looking up to him for so many years, he was probably 10 times what I thought he would be. We've probably been with Ali 10 times over the years. My wife and I have been lucky enough to have been guests at his home. When we became pen pals, we wrote back and forth a number of years, and then when I was grown and married, one night the phone rang and my wife said, "It sounds like it's Muhammad Ali." And I said hello, and the guy at the other end says, "This is Muhammad Ali, the greatest fighter of all time." And we talked on the phone a number of times, and then he invited us to his home. And we were guests in his home, spent an entire day in his home. And it was quite a thrill. This book is probably my favorite piece. When we went to Muhammad Ali's home, I took this book, and it's an old book beat up from an old bookstore. It really wasn't worth all that much. And there was one picture in it that I wanted him to sign because I loved the picture. And it was this picture, and he put "To Scot from Muhammad Ali, King of Boxing." And I thought, wow, that is cool. He put King of Boxing. And then he kept the book, and he started to thumb through the book. And it was like he was looking through a family photo album, really. And he would tell me where he was at and what he was doing and who he was with and what he was thinking when the pictures were being taken. And he still had the marker in his hand, and as he thumbed through the book, anything that struck his eye, he would just sign his name. Here he said, this is when they wanted to put me in the Army, and he signed his name there. There he signed another. And he started flipping through the pages, and just anything that struck his eye, he'd sign his name. There he said, I was in England and they were mobbing me, and he signed his name. There he put Muhammad Ali, King of the Ring. In this photo he said, this is the date I won the heavyweight championship, so I'm going to put that date. And he signed probably 50 pages in there. And he handed the book back to me and he says, "You ought to put this in an auction." He knew what he was doing as he sat there and signed it for me. He knew he was making it pretty valuable. To tell you how much I thought of Muhammad Ali, I have a little baby girl. She's 2 years old now, but she was named after him. Her name's Allison. We call her Allie because she's the greatest. And a few months ago, we were in Chicago, and I had the chance to introduce Allison to Muhammad. And that was a real highlight in my life because he just loved her and loved the fact that we named her after him. And that was a real thrill for me. I had another hero besides Ali when I was a kid, Evel Knievel, and I've got a huge Evel Knievel collection. I became very close friends with Evel, and over the years he signed for me about 600 pieces out of my collection. One of the best things I have his yearbook. I have Evel's yearbook, and I ask him, very nicely, I ask him to sign his real name, which is Robert Craig Knievel. And he said to me, he said, you know, I've never signed my name in about 20 years. Not on a check, not on anything, except Evel Knievel. And he signed for me that yearbook, his real name. I have his personal helmet that he wore in the movie Viva Knievel. That's probably the centerpiece of my Evel collection. I have one of his personally worn jackets that he owned. And I have a couple checks that he made out to me, gold-plated checks, that he made out to me for $1 million, which I haven't tried to cash it, but I might one of these days. I didn't know it when I was a kid, but my two heroes, Evel and Ali, had been friends and fans of each other. And a few years ago, Evel was needing a liver transplant, and he called me down to really say goodbye to him because he was dying at the time. But before I got there, I ran into Muhammad Ali again, and I told him where I was going. And he signed for me a pair of boxing gloves, and he put to my friend, Evel, love Muhammad Ali. And he asked me to give those to him. So I was kind of the middleman between my two heroes, and I was able to take that gift from one and give it to the other. And I really, as I took them down to him, I thought, wow, these would be great in my collection, you know. But I can't do it. I have to give them, and so I gave them to Evel. Evel got his liver transplant, and he lives today. I really don't see it getting bigger. I think that I'm just at the point in my life where I want to concentrate more on my wife and baby, that I would like to kind of maybe downsize a little bit and not concentrate so much on getting more to my collection. But it's been fun over the years.
Do you have a question or a comment about Heartland Highways?